Parading past the DJC Collectibles studio, I'm Midwest professional wrestling legend Gage Octane. And now, here's a guy who knows that St. Patrick's Day is not just for the Irish anymore, Kyle Peterson.
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, back again for episode number 51 of the Kyle Peterson Show. And as usual, got my co-host here, a girl that knows money hides in the dead minutes, Angie. Angie, say hello.
Hello.
You knew that. You knew that. You don't know what that means? Think about it. Think about it. The money hides in the dead minutes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When you're scrolling in your phone.
Always be earning.
When you're scrolling on your phone, laying in bed.
Little do you know I'm spending your money in those days.
Yeah, it's the reverse. It's the reverse. You just
in those quiet moments.
It just literally like 10 minutes before we filmed this, you just hit me up. Hey, what do you think about going to Minnesota tonight or tomorrow night for a concert or something? I'm like, how much is this concert? You're like, oh yeah, it's like $200 a ticket. And
but I love her.
Oh, get out of here with all that. But maybe. But we've got other things planned here very soon. We got to get ready for.
Yeah, not me going across the country.
We're going to get to that here in a second there. Loose lips sink ships, Angie. That's what you got to watch. Angie's got 2 pairs of loose lips, let me tell you. 2 pairs of loose lips on her.
Both are right here, though.
Are they? Are they, Angie? Are they? You got 3? Well, kinda. But here we are, Angie. And Angie, guess what? This is episode number 51. Episode 50 last week. A very memorable episode, of course.
Was it?
I bet.
It was a milestone.
It was a milestone.
I don't know if it was memorable.
And at the end of every episode, I ask Angie, so what did we learn today? What did we learn again last week?
Oh my God, I have no idea.
She has no clue. That's odd. She's forgotten about it. Once it's done filming, she never thinks about it again. But
I already forgot about this.
we've got a lot of follow-up from last week, Angie. And yes, of course, there will be a Fulci update. Slow your roll here. Angie's want to get ahead of things a little bit. But we're going to get into it all here in episode 51 of the Kyle Peterson Show. But first, got to thank the sponsor of this episode. It is DJC Collectibles. Use discount code ADOFFDJC to save 8% off your entire order. Got to get a deal out there, Angie. We know how it goes by now.
I do it.
And Angie, I'm wearing green. I'm not sure about you.
I am.
Are you? We got some green
variance.
friends. Today, as you guys are watching this, it is St. Patrick's Day. So nobody's getting pinched around these parts here today. I bet you if you pinch a kid at school in this day and age, you probably get expelled for doing that, I would imagine is what probably happens with that. But neither here nor there, as they do say. But it is St. Patrick's Day. And Angie, let's just pretend it's St. Patrick's Day right now. What are you doing? What are you doing? Drinking a green beer tonight?
Getting lucky.
Getting lucky with a 4-leaf clover. There it is. Beefsteak rye. And she's going to eat some of that. Going to rye bread.
Corned beef.
Get some corned beef
I'll
and
give
cabbage.
you my corned beef.
What does that even mean? I don't even know. I don't know. But that's going to be wild. But it is St. Patrick's Day. So for all that celebrate St. Patrick's Day, a happy day to you. And you know, it's a working man's holiday, St. Patrick's Day. It's where you go to the bars, you get the drinks in, you just do your thing. And today's the day. I don't know. But we got a leprechaun over here. Not that leprechaun. We got our friend Hornswoggle here. Good friend of the channel, old Dylan. Shout out to him. I'm sure he's watching. I'm sure he's spending his St. Patrick's Day watching what we're up to here. Oh, but Angie, we got a lot to dive into here. And we're going to start it. We got a lot of housekeeping here before we get to some of our segments. So just don't be too chatty Cathy. Let me get to it. Let me get to it.
I'm so thirsty already.
She's so thirsty. She's parched already. She sent 10 words and she is parched. All right. Well, Angie, I want to plug the Patreon here. Of course, you guys know about the Patreon. Get early access to this very podcast, the video version at least. All my videos for both my YouTube channels, all kinds of stuff, monthly Q&A, you name it, it's all over there on the Patreon. And it does support the channel and this podcast, as most do know. This month's giveaway, a double dose of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures from our friends over there at McFarlane Toys. So check that out if that is your thing. And Angie, we got to celebrate it again, because if I don't celebrate it, who's going to celebrate it? I don't know who would. But it is the book. It's the 1-year anniversary of my book, The Complete Guide to the ECW Original San Francisco Toy Makers, soft cover and hardcover edition. Oh, what are we doing? Looking very good. Maybe we'll give away another one of these sometime this month here. But appreciate all the support on the book. If you haven't picked it up yet, pick it up. And if you want one from me autographed or Angie or whatever, reach out to me at the KylePetersonShow@gmail.com. I do have a few left of hardcover and softcover. So reach out on that one there.
We did get a $10.99, so somebody bought some.
Somebody bought some. Yep.
I sold some.
That reminds me, Angie, tomorrow we got to put our taxes in. We got to finally pay those taxes. This is the latest I've ever paid them, but we've been so busy on things. I what is time? I always say it on the channel, but so busy. But I got to get the tax man in because, he'll come after you. He'll come after you. Look what he did to that poor Willie Nelson. You guys know Willie Nelson? Took Willie's pants. Almost took his guitar. That was terrible. It was terrible. But shout out to old Willie Nelson. Shout out to the tax man. Hopefully you guys are enjoying tax season as much as I am. Oh, it's a great time, let me tell you.
It used to be fun for us.
Used to be fun.
Now it's complicated and we don't get any money back.
Yeah. I'd be just happy if I could break even. I don't need money back. I just hate paying in, but it just sucks. I don't know. You gotta pay the tax man. You also have to pay the piper, I've heard. No, I've heard that too.
Pay me too.
But yeah, I know. In blood. But Angie, we got some news. Now, we hinted at this last week on the podcast. We said we have an announcement coming, and it took a while to be able to finally do this announcement. It is technically right now, Angie, St. Patrick's Day Tuesday, right? Tuesday, yeah. We put the podcast up on Tuesday. I should know that by now. But I was mentioning
You
this.
do it. I don't do it.
Yeah, she didn't do anything.
You act like I uploaded it.
Get out of here. But I mentioned this last week on the podcast. I should have some news. Well, here we are. It took about a week, but you should already know the news by now if you're following my channel and stuff. But long story short, Angie and I, as you're watching this, we're on a plane, leaving on a jet plane. We're headed to LA. Yes, LA, California. Beautiful this time of year. I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there sometimes.
We look like LA people, but we're not LA people.
Do I look like LA people?
We look like
Maybe you do.
We
Maybe
look like rednecks.
you can hang out with the Kardashians, but maybe I'm like an LA guy out there. I'd go be hanging out at the Rainbow. I'll be just chilling, doing my thing at the Rainbow, and that's where I'm hoping to go to the Rainbow one of these nights while we're out there. But we got a whimsical tour out there, headed out to LA, doing our thing. Should be a very good time. I will be part of Mattel Revealed on March 19th. That is the Mattel Creations Revealed, March 19th, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Be there or be square. Live from California, live. So what am I going to be doing? What am I going to be up to? There's only one way to find out. You've got to watch the Mattel Creations stream.
We're probably just going to be in the studio for 3 days.
Well, I should mention Angie is coming, and Angie's getting a taste of it. She's going to be doing some presenting, and you think she can memorize any lines at all? I don't know if she can, or maybe she can. But she's not doing anything. She's coming along for the ride, is what she's doing.
I keep getting nervous that they're going to meet us and be like, do you want to do like they're gonna have you do something? I'm like,
you've got to do something. If they ask you, you got to, but they're not going to ask you.
I can just pop out of the back.
Yeah, you could do something. So I don't know if you're just going to sit in the audience or what Angie's going to do, but she's going to be there for moral support. She's going to carry my luggage through the LAX airport.
This
be
is why
security.
you should take me to my concert tomorrow, because I'm being a real one.
Get out of here, right?
I'm being a real
The
one.
hard part about that's like a 12-hour ordeal after me working a full day. And guess what? Kyle going on vacation next week. Nobody covers me on my vacation, so I got to do all this work. It's going to be a busy couple of days for me. And go to some you want to go to some concert I've never heard of. What's it again?
Zara Larson.
Zara Larson. Now, is Zaria or Zara?
Zara. She's Swedish.
Swedish.
See, you love the Swedes.
I would love it. Is she blonde?
Very.
And how is she looking?
Very good.
Very
Is
good.
She? Yeah, she is. I'll show you.
Is she? Is
we'll
she stacked?
A picture of her.
Is she stacked?
She's got abs.
And
hair down, blonde hair down to her butt, like wavy.
I thought that was going two different directions both times, but. But Angie, we will be at Mattel Revealed, so you guys be on the lookout for that. Thumbs it up, all that kind of fun stuff. Show some love. Send a prayer circle. We got a prayer circle going for Beekman's World. Might as well start one for Mattel Creations event. But it should be a good day. We're going to find out a lot of new He-Man stuff. I'm probably going to be during the WWE stuff, I would imagine. I think so. So I'll be over there for that. But I'll be listening hard over there at the Masters of the Universe stuff. I'm into that just as much, so I want to find out some of that. And then we'll see if we hear anything from DC. My guess is no DC stuff, but you never know. You never know. We'll see what happens there. But a lot going on with Mattel Revealed. Check it out. You don't want to miss that. But Angie, we are not done with the housekeeping. Last week, you remember this? I'm going to jog your mind a little bit. Deeper dive, we talked about the journey of the dog man. We talked about cryptozoological creatures. We talked about cryptids. You remember this?
Yes.
And conveniently enough, after the day we filmed, we watched Expedition X or Destination Truth, the new episode, whatever. It had the Thunderbird, a classic, the Thunderbird, a big one. It claps its wings and it sounds like lightning, as we do know in thunder, of course, being a Thunderbird, I guess. But we saw that. So I was like, that's nice to get some crypto creatures back out here and going on. However, Angie, we weren't done. We should have almost done that segment in this one here because news breaking all over the place. It was in the New York Post this week. all over social media. I'm sure everybody watching this, including Angie listening in here, probably know all about this story, but it's the Great Ohio Bigfoot Migration. Did you hear about this?
Oh my gosh.
Did you see any of this stuff?
No.
It was in the New York Post this week.
I think they caught wind of our episode and it inspired
Maybe, but apparently there's a family of big feet on the run, on the move. So I don't know. So, they say, Angie, have you ever heard this before where like dogs, cats, deers, all these things, when there's going to be a crazy event happen, they like...
Is that really the plural of Bigfoot is big feet?
It is now. It is now. But when animals like hear danger, something like you always hear like there's an earthquake coming and your dog gets kind of weird, or something. They're saying that these big feet are on the run because they know they know something's coming. Like, and there is that big fault line for earthquakes that go through the Midwest into Ohio and stuff. So maybe they know something we don't. They're more in tune with Mother Nature, and I'd like to be in tune with Mother Nature, but it's hard. It's hard to get in tune and lined up with her lockstep. But I think the Bigfoots, the big feet, probably are. But apparently they're migrating, and there was like 10 different sightings in one day over there. It was a 7-foot tall Bigfoot, a 10-foot tall Bigfoot, like a 6-foot, a 9-foot. Some of these could have been the same ones, probably. People aren't the best judgments of height, and we'll get more into that maybe later in the question of the week, Angie. So a little Easter egg, a little foreshadowing there from. Did I ever tell you I'm one class away from a minor in film?
Yeah,
one class away. That's foreshadowing. That's what we call in the industry. And part of me going out there for that Mattel Revealed 2 out there, Mattel Creations, is, probably get some acting jobs while I'm out there in LA. It's probably going to happen. I'm probably just going to roll up to one of the studios. I'm trying to decide what studio to roll up on and say, okay, which show are you guys going to give me? Let me do a show for you. I don't know. We can agree on it later. Mm-hmm. It can be animated even. I'll voice a character, but hopefully I get some side work over there. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Stranger things have happened, Angie. Stranger things have happened. But let's see. The Bigfoot migrating through Ohio. So if you're out there in Ohio, and I know there's at least one person watching from Ohio, they're probably knee deep in this. And you're probably like watching for your vehicles. We worry about hitting deer sometimes and things like that. They're probably worried about hitting Bigfoot. But I'm very excited to see where this goes. I hope they catch one of these Bigfoot very, very soon. So we'll keep you abreast. We'll keep you abreast of all the information here. But Angie, we also had a fun journey literally a week ago from today where we filmed, I think, last week. Where did we go right after we got done filming? Do you remember my name?
Dave's Hot Chicken?
Dave's Hot Chicken. No, we did go there this week, though. That was delicious. It was meaty, thick pieces this week. Dave, you outdid yourself. You knew I was coming. But Angie wasn't, but I was. But Angie, a week ago, Angie, we immediately left this filming this podcast, and you were like, and you forced me to do something I've never done before.
Oh my gosh!
How do you not remember these things? I wonder if you remember, like, if I left for California for a week and you didn't come with me, I swear she wouldn't know who I come in. How do you have a key to this house? How do you get the garage?
Wonder why I don't call you a lot because I don't even remember that you left.
Yeah, like if I leave town, I don't even hear about it. Somebody told me, somebody put in the comments.
It's terrible. Every time he leaves, I always forget where he is. And so, I'm like, if something happened, I would have no clue.
There was a guy that posted in the comments that one time that said, when I'm gone, Angie really plays while I'm gone. That's what that guy said. He said he knows firsthand what you're up to. So
no, I'd never know when you were coming back. I mean,
it's true. I said, Angie. Jeez, what are we doing? Well, I better clue Angie in because she doesn't remember exactly what we did 1 week ago. For the first time ever, I was in so much pain, Angie, that we finally went to the chiropractor.
Yep.
Or as my grandma calls it, the choirpractor. Good old grandma. Shout out to my grandma.
It's kind of sad. Emma doesn't say library anymore.
Oh, yeah.
That's how she used to say it.
Library. But we went to the chiropractor. I've never been to the chiropractor here, so now I'm messing up.
Chiropractor.
But I have never been, and they have one of the walk-in ones around us here. It was like, how much? $35, $30, and they're gonna fix you. And I've had a bad back.
Rough side of town, not gonna lie.
It's the rough side, and sometimes you gotta go to the rough side of it. That's like when we go to California, we'll go to Tijuana, and we'll catch a donkey show for sure, and we'll get our teeth cleaned real cheap.
They didn't ask us if we had insurance.
Yeah, Angie can get her wisdom teeth out down there real cheap in Mexico, is what I heard. That's what they say. Walk over the border. It's a great time.
They just yank them out pliers.
But I went there, and it was like $35, and I walked in, and I had to fill the point where it hurts, and fill out this diagram and all this kind of stuff. I had never been to one before, so obviously you know what they do, but you're not really sure what they do. But I threw my back out the day Terry Funk died. And if you guys remember that very emotional special video on the channel, Angie never watched it, but some of you probably did. I was in the verge of tears, Angie. I don't get that but it was kind of the end of my old friend Terry and I, hanging out at wrestling shows, being his handler. And one day I'm going to tell that whole story. There's a part of that story that still grinds my gears all these years later.
I feel like you've told it.
I haven't told it. I haven't told the disappointing part of my meeting with Terry Funk. Because, they always say don't meet your idols. I don't hold this against him too much, but I do a little bit because I'm talking about it now. Maybe we'll save that for another video one of these days.
Don't speak ill of the dead.
Yeah, but I love Terry Funk still. Even though this thing, I still love him. But where was I? I went to the chiropractor. Okay, yeah. And I threw my back out.
You remember because I did.
I threw my back out that day he died. So it's been a long time and I haven't went to the doctor, haven't done anything. And that's the way I am. That's how I developed such bad cancer and 18 stitches this year. Because I refuse to get help because I'm too busy for these things. I don't got time. Anyways, I went to the chiropractor. I finally did it after years of problems. I'm like, I'm hoping they're going to fix me. And I fully expected it was going to be snap, crackle, pop city because I've never been. And you always hear like these crazy cracks on like Tik Tok reels and stuff, Angie shows or whatever you do.
When you're mic'd up. Yeah.
And I figured for sure I'm going to be just snack, crackle, popping all over the place. It's going to be just a mess. And she put me down, asked where it hurt. She's like, put your neck down. Do you feel it now? Like she put me in all these positions. And you usually are the one that puts me in these positions. This lady, there was nothing going on. We didn't have any magic between us. She looked like an old PE teacher or something. Anyways, I was hoping she was more attractive. But, beggars can't be choosers. You need help. You need your body fixed. And hopefully she could do the job. So she's testing all this stuff, checking. She's like, well, I want to do your neck too. So she turns to the right, gives me the snap thing. No pop. I'm like, what? No pop? What's going on? She did the left, and I did feel and hear the pop on that one. But that was the only popping that went on that day until I got home later. But Angie, she worked at it, and then she's like, okay, I'm going to put you on this table. It's probably most people would know chiropractor stuff. I don't, but it's this weird, like long table, almost like a dentist chair, but it's lengthwise. And she put me on it, and I was like laying down in the face thing, and she like slammed me in my back, and it like dropped the middle of the table down. So that was a little bit shocking, and it hurt my balls. I'll tell you that much. It hurt. So I felt like I got kicked in the balls with that one there. So I didn't enjoy that. And she did that to me twice. So that was real fun. But then she like started climbing the wall. Like she was littler, but she wasn't super little, but she was littler, but she was climbing the wall, like trying to move my legs and stuff like that. And she was yanking on it, pulling on my leg, twisting and turning. So it was like, one thing about me, Angie, that you know is I'm very flexible.
Yeah, you are.
I am very flexible. I'll never forget my 5th grade PE teacher said, Kyle, you have the flexibility of a woman, is what he told me. And I've never forgot that because we'd have the sit and reach and I'd go all the way over the machine. And, I can put my foot up in the air and I can grab my toes over there and I can do it. I've always been very flexible, but this back thing has really hurt my flexibility. I can still do it, but it hurts, obviously. But I need to get back on the DDP yoga train. Many, many years ago, I hurt my back lifting heavy, and I went to DDP yoga for like 4 months and stopped lifting. And that really did wonders for me. And I really need to get back there. And that is my plan, to get back on that, to kind of smooth things out. But the chiropractor, she's like, okay, you're done. And I'm like, so what do I do now? It's like, I can still feel it. And if it's weird, I've trained my body to like tense up at all times. So it's like, doesn't hurt. But if I let my mind go and I can feel it, like, it shocks me and it sends those pains through your whole body or whatever. So it's a weird thing. So I'm like, I'm feeling better because I just got stretched out, I think is what it was. And she's like, well, if it still hurts, you feel it, you got to come back next Thursday. And I said, oh, here we go. Kyle, why don't you come in every single Thursday, put your $35 down. We'll do this little stretching session. I could do it on my own, really. So long story short, I had to try something. I think next step is the doctor. I think I'm probably going to find out that I got all kinds of problems, like a disc or something. Who knows? But I'm tough. Just know that the last multiple years of this channel, Kyle's been in pain in every single video you've been watching him. Can you imagine how good these videos would be if I wasn't in pain? Can you imagine?
Too good.
Oh my gosh, we couldn't take it. The internet couldn't take it at this point. But I did this week on 2 different occasions. Angie stretched me out real good. You stretched me out real good. And Angie was getting deep inside there. It was crazy. Your face was in spots I've never had you in.
I'm good at that.
But Angie was good. And I found out, like, I feel like I'm compressed. Like I have like a compressed spine or something. That's what she said. And that's what it is. So I was doing the thing where I lay on the couch and Angie would take each leg and she would basically pull. And I'd kind of pull in the opposite direction. It was almost like drawn and quartered with the horses. It's kind of that kind of thing. And that helps me pretty good. And then Angie would like help me do my stretch, pull my knee up to my face and get my leg all the way up there and just slowly kind of do it. And Angie's like, I can't believe how flexible you are. You're just amazed. You're the one that needs to work on your flexibility, but you're pretty flexible in certain ways. But yeah, so Angie stretched me out pretty good this week. So I appreciate the help. Maybe one more time for old time's sake tonight.
Gave you a little rub down.
Yeah, it felt good. So we'll see. But I never thought I'd finally go to the chiropractor. But Angie basically forced me. She gave me no option. They closed in like 45 minutes. We're going right now. Grab your keys. We're off to the races.
I'm getting sick of it, hearing about it.
Getting sick of it. And the reason was, too, I had 3 old man falls the weekend before.
I'm like, I'm not even going to be able to, like,
and you weren't even home.
Get with you anymore if you get back home.
I had old man falls
home.
where I did a movement and it just shocked through me and my legs gave out and I fell straight to the floor. Like an old man. I said, I can't believe this. If I was like 75 or 80 years old, I probably would have broke a hip. That's what happens. You always like, when you're young, you're like, how do these people fall in the shower? They break their hip and they die like 2 weeks later. How does that happen? I can relate. I can relate to it now. That's like unbelievable. But I'm walking in the hallway here. I'm just walking in our hallway, and all of a sudden I fall like a sack of bricks, and I have to yell for my daughter, Emma. She's the only one home. She's 10 years old. She's up on her iPad. She comes down, sees her dear old dad, who she just thinks the world of. She just, her eyes were the size of saucers and just tears flooding in there. It was like, Daddy, my daddy, are you okay? Or she like looked like, what? What do you want?
I'm like, just get up.
Yeah, she could care less. I said, Emma, I honestly need you to help me get up here. And she helped me all as best she could. It was nice of her to help out. But downstairs, I took a bad fall and I didn't know to go forward or backward. It was like, and I was like, I had a split second. It felt like 2 minutes, but it was probably like a half a second. Do I go forward or backward? I said, I better go forward. Yeah. And I landed down there. Because you go backwards, you're like, do I hit your head? What do you hit? What do you knock over? At least forward, I could control.
And it would be way harder to get off your back than to get up from that.
But it was just absolutely embarrassing. I am just embarrassed for myself, and that's why I'm telling everyone this. But if I was old, like, I am 86, but if, can you imagine? I would have broke a hip for sure. I'm just like, man, so we went to the chiropractor. We'll see where things go. This
intro is going to be a third of the video.
We're starting to get rid of the segments, and it's just going to be weekly catch-ups is what it's going to be. These catch-ups, this is going to be the way it goes. But we got one more thing. Did I mention I was going to be on Mattel Creations Revealed this week? Did we talk about that? I already forgot. Yeah, we did? Oh, okay, thanks. Moving on, Angie, the notes keep coming in. The emails, the snail mail. I got the snail mail right here. I keep getting stuff in the mail every single day, and people are saying, Kyle, what's next on the Fulci extravaganza? What Fulci movie are you watching? And, you're exactly right. What Fulci movie am I watching? Well, this week I watched, not to be confused with The Black Cat, which we did last week, which is god-awful. I do not recommend it. We watched Cat in the Brain. And I say we, I mean me, myself, and I guess the dogs were down there with me. But it was The Cat in the Brain, starring one Fulci. He starred in the leading role in this one as the old man. And let me give you the plot, Angie.
I can't wait.
Just let me give you the plot. You just stand right here.
I can't wait.
But Angie, so what happened was, Fulci is a director in this. He plays himself. They say, hey, Lucio, he's making his movies and all this stuff. And he's filming, he's doing it. And basically, this was like one of it. He died after this, shortly after. So this was pretty low budget because what they did is, remember Mr. Halsey from the other ones that were in all these movies of his? And we talked about the one with the lady with the bearded lady and all this. He was killing it. It was like he was filming that movie, but they would intersperse parts of his old movies into this movie to like pad the movie out like he was filming them, but then they would show scenes from those old movies to like kind of pad it out. So that felt pretty cheap off the get-go there. But he was losing his mind thinking that he was like killing people and stuff. So he was doing it and going through these killings and stuff. And there was some hot ladies in this one. I was a big fan of that. No bearded ladies on this one here. So it had what I'm looking for in my movies. Nice. So that was good to see. But then he started going to this psychiatrist there. And in the plot twist at the end, I'm going to spoil it for everybody here. It's a 30, 40-year-old movie or whatever. But this psychiatrist was really the evil one and was kind of playing with his mind through all this. And they got it all figured out and all that kind of stuff. But it wasn't very good. It wasn't very good. I didn't enjoy it that much.
You've just been going downhill ever since.
I've been watching a lot of just terrible movies, but there's a lot of movies I haven't watched in a long time. And, the Tubies of the world and stuff have all these movies I've always wanted to see. And it reminds me back to being a little kid going to movies. It was like a Blockbuster, a local one, and you would like see movies, and you'd always see these VHS and DVD covers of all these crazy movies. And you're just like, it's no different than record albums and CDs back when I was a kid too. It's like, what is this Ozzy album all about? Who's this Ozzy guy? What is this? And that's how it was with a lot of these movies. And I never watched them. Where would I get them? My parents were going to rent them for me. But you look at it, you're like, well, what could this be about? What is this Ghoulies? What are they doing in this toilet? What are these little monsters doing? That one always stuck out there. So now all these years later, you get to watch them. But I've watched a lot of them throughout the years. But now some of these real deep cut ones I've heard about or, remember as a kid seeing, I'm finally getting a chance to see. But not sure what's up next for Fulci. We'll got to see. I got a very busy weekend. I'd like to try to get one more Fulci in. We'll see what ends up happening, Angie.
You could watch a Fulci while you're in the parking lot at the Zara Larsson concert.
Oh, I can't sit in the parking lot. I did that like last year. I sat for like 4 hours in a parking lot while they all went to a concert that was so expensive.
It's not that long, is it?
It was horrible, but I had stuff to do. I edited videos. I went to a Walmart. Why am I telling you this
That's
story?
Chapel Roan.
That was Chapel Roan, yeah. Mm-hmm. I went to a Walmart. I went to a Target. I got something to eat. I got gas, and I edited some videos.
No, that wasn't that then.
And then that was a disaster because we had to wait in line for 5 hours. I'm not going down that road. That's going to get me half hot. But Angie, we got one last thing here in this catch-up, a half-hour catch-up here. This is ridiculous. But Angie, we do got a little viewer mail this week here. We did actually get some. It comes from our good friend of the channel, longtime viewer of the channel, Patreon member as well, Greg DiStefano. DiStefano. Okay. I'll never get it right. I'm not Italian. I'm Irish today. But Greg was nice enough to send Angie and I something. Look what he sent Angie here.
What a cutie.
$25 Starbucks gift card. Can you believe that? Buying your love,
nice.
Angie. But yeah, you love Starbucks.
I'll think of you every time I drink one.
She will. And
the next three drinks.
She will spend this immediately tomorrow, probably at Target or something like that. So we did get that. But he was also nice enough to send me a little heavy metal shirt, a little Maiden in the front and Priest in the back. Kind of, but it is from a record store out his way here. So very cool to see that. You can't beat Priest and Maiden on the front. Very inspired. You got to dance around those copyrights, Angie, there. But Greg, thank you for sending on, of course. Very, very nice. You didn't have to. So there it is, Angie. Anything else for housekeeping? Have we said it all?
Oh my gosh.
This should be the podcast. Should just call it done here. But no, we got way more content. Angie, it's time for a deeper dive. All right, Angie, it's time for a deeper dive. And Angie's going to handle this segment this week. Angie, what did you got planned for us for a deeper dive?
Oh, my God. Nothing.
She's got nothing. And I do have something, Angie, so you're in luck. I got you covered this week. But this week, we're talking about stolen ideas. You ever had an amazing idea and then somebody stole it from you?
I don't think so.
You never had that?
I wouldn't remember anyway.
You've never shared an amazing idea? You've never had anything that just knocked your socks off and you're like, this is it. This is the game changer. Well, Angie, you're in luck because I'm here to tell some stories about that because I've had, $1,000 million ideas in my life and capitalized on zero, unfortunately, is what I have done. But there's nothing worse than when people steal your ideas, I remember I had some ideas on early days of YouTube when I had like 2 followers and stuff, and then other people would steal your ideas. And it is what it is. It's not that big a deal, but things like that happen. And it's just the nature of the beast, of course. What do they say? Imitation is the something. Sincerest form of flattery. There you go. Got it for you there. But I had stolen ideas, and I had 2 ideas that have recently, one in the past stolen, and then one I just saw recently. I don't know if it's recent, but I just came aware of it. And it's my own fault for not doing my due diligence to find a reason or a way to like trademark or do something with this or make it into an idea. Now, the first time goes back to my college years. And most people know here I've got decades upon decades in the grocery business, Angie. And I've seen a lot of stuff come and go. And as they do say, 85% of new items fail. But I knew this item probably wouldn't fail. But I was telling everybody I talked to, all vendors, all reps, store personnel, grocery people, I had the greatest idea back in like 2005, Angie. Okay. 2004 probably. It was right before I met you. I don't know if I ever told you about this idea, but it was swiftly stolen. I love trail mix. Do you like trail mix? I love trail mix. Angie, don't look at my notes. You're not going to know because it's just a bullet point. I have it all up in here. I just keep me on track of a couple of bullet points, and then it's just all off the cuff. That's how we do things here. I don't check your notes. I don't check your notes. Anyways, I had this amazing idea, and I said, I love trail mix. I love trail mix. Around that time, I was eating a lot of trail mix. And what do you like in your trail mix?
Nuts.
Yeah, I know you love nuts and everything.
Maybe some little dark chocolate chips too.
I hate it when they throw those dark chocolate ones in there, but they do. I don't like the chocolate chips in mine. I don't like the little chocolate chips.
I like it when they're like baby ones.
I don't like those at all. I don't like chocolate chips in any. I like them melted, but I don't like them as just plain. But I like a little nuts for sure. I'm a guy that loves nuts. I'm built like a sack of walnuts, something like that. But I love nuts in mine. I love the dried fruit as well. I love all the dried fruit, even the hard bananas every once in a while. I like those. I also like sometimes when they have the Cheerios in there, that's okay sometimes. They got to be fresh. I don't like it when they're stale ones. And then I don't mind like a Reese's Pieces in there, an M&M maybe every once in a while or something like that. There's one trail mix I had one time that had like, it wasn't Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, but they looked like it and they were very mini ones. That was really good. I think that was at Costco. Anyways, I love a good trail mix. I was eating it, it's all good. And I said, you know what's missing in trail mix? And a lot of people are going to agree with me. This will probably be why didn't I think of this? But I said, you know what they need to have in there? You guys have seen Jack Link's beef jerky. Jack Link's very famous, of course. I don't know if they have these anymore, but it used to be these little beef jerky nuggets. It was like little nuggets. It wasn't like strips. It wasn't long strips. It was just little nuggets. They come in a pouch. I said, this needs to be mixed in the trail mix. Maybe get rid of the chocolate stuff, but put that in the trail mix and give it like more protein and stuff. I love beef jerky. I love trail mix. Let's bring them together. And I was telling everybody I knew, all these pizza guys, everybody about this idea. This is the greatest idea ever. This would be the greatest snack. I don't know why anybody doesn't. And that's where I learned as a young kid, Kyle, sometimes you got to keep your mouth shut and not give your ideas out there. Because what happens about 3 months later, this local company from where my college was, went to the store and came out with their own beef jerky trail mix, snack mix. My exact idea. And I'm looking at this like, you've got to be kidding me. And I'm looking at the guy and I'm pretty sure I told him all about this. And he just blatantly stole my idea. And then we threw down right there in the aisle. But I'll never forget just being the shock and horror. And I immediately remembered I shouldn't have been saying this to everybody because it was a great idea. And it is a great idea. Ever since then, you guys know Oberto. You know Oberto? Not Umberto, but Oberto. You know Oberto? It's like a beef jerky company and stuff. Okay. Very famous. You'll know it if you saw the package. They have one of those now as well. So just think, it was my idea that was stolen. I don't care what anybody says. It's a stolen idea. It's like stolen valor is what that is. And Oberto and all these companies should be ashamed of themselves. They should send me a check for that. But then, Angie, what got me on this is most recently, I was at Target yesterday. You ever heard of Target?
Yeah.
You know a thing or two about Target, of course, by the looks of that bill. I'm always confused. Like, why is our Target bill more than our mortgage every month? I don't understand how that works out. And Haulathon's coming up soon, so it's going to be even worse this month. But I digress. But Angie, I went down the toy aisle and I saw on the end cap, I saw Guess Who. You know about Guess Who? You know that game, Guess Who?
Yeah.
Absolutely love the Guess Who. Love the Guess Who. Guess Who, Connect 4, my two favorite board games that are not Fireball Island. Love it. Love Guess Who. Love playing Guess Who. It's always fun. Always fun to throw that Hail Mary guess out when your options are down and your opponent knows who you have. And you're like, well, they got 12 people left. You got to throw it out there. You got to guess. And that's always fun. But I've always said, and this is like 2 years ago, I've talked about this. You know how there's Monopoly. There's like Iron Maiden Monopoly. There's all these different Monopolies. You know, there's like state Monopoly. They've really done a good job branding Monopoly to get more than just the regular board game.
Yeah.
I said they should do this with Guess Who, and you could do this with like football players. You could do it with like K-pop artists. You could do it with the Kardashians. You could do it with musicians. There's a lot of branding that can be done with Guess Who. And I've always said it'd be cool just to print off my own pictures and make my own Guess Who board for however I want to do it. I always thought that was a great idea. What do I see at Target this week? They have NFL player Guess Who now. I said, you gotta be kidding me. I should have sent that in 3 years ago when I had the idea. Now, maybe they got it before me. Maybe not. But I think, once again, stolen idea from me. Somebody was listening. I was talking too much. Now, my next idea, Angie, I'm not going to spill it. I got something that's going to change the earth. You ever heard of time travel? That's where I'm leaving it at. That's where I'm leaving it at right there. You
can't even talk about anything anymore. Alexa will hear you.
I can't talk. I can't tell anybody about these things because these ideas will get stolen up. And I've had so many ideas. Remember when I had the idea about Little Bites? You know about Little Bites. Entenmann Little Bites, you guys know about that? I said, what if we got a family pack together and instead of just being chocolate, blueberry, the top two SKUs, what if we put them together in the same box? What if we put it together in the same box, guys? Come on, you get a little bit of everybody. Everybody's happy. Little Johnny wants the blueberry. Angie wants the chocolate. You always love the chocolate. But you get those in the same box. We're playing all the hits here, guys. It's a beautiful invention. So I got that to market, Angie, and we ordered like 5,000 units for a specialty store as an exclusive. You guys know about Target, Walmart exclusives. You remember this? I'm shocked you even remember this. And I had that box in my office forever because I was like, this is my idea here. But unfortunately, massive flop. Massive flop. I can't believe it. I thought I had the greatest idea ever. You got the number 1 and number 2 SKUs. Let's bring them together. They didn't sell it all. We had to discount and get rid of them. Apparently, those that want chocolate want chocolate. Those that want blueberry want blueberry. You can't put it. It's not like they were mixed in the bag. You had your own chocolate bag. You had 5 chocolate bags, 5 blueberry bags in there. But people hating mixing the races of the Entenmann's, apparently. I don't know what's going on.
I'm crazy. I'd love a bag with one of each in it.
I love the blueberry. I don't like the chocolate chip at all, but I love the blueberry. But most people like chocolate. That's the number 1. So would have worked great in this house.
I love a fudge brownie.
Yeah, you do. You do. Good thing I'm behind the desk, Angie. But there it is. That's a deeper dive. Stolen ideas. Nothing worse than that. And it's just very disappointing, Angie. But that is a deeper dive. But now we got to go over to Angie's favorite segment. The moment she's been waiting for. It's time to try new foods because it might taste good.
Try a little bit of this and a little bit of that. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. We gotta try new food because they might taste good.
All right, Angie, it's time to try new foods because they might taste good. And we got a little bit of Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Red Velvet this week. But before we get there, Angie, we should mention this week we did go to McDonald's. Angie, you remember this? We went to parent-teacher conferences. I won't bore you with that whole story. But we went to parent-teacher conferences, and then we went to McDonald's afterwards. So let's save some money. Let's eat cheap tonight. Let's go there. And we spent like $40. What happened to McDonald's? We used to be able to eat for cheap. I guess you kind of can if you do it right. But we didn't on this night. And I said, I've been wanting to try this Big Arch burger. Now, I should have filmed this thing. But here is the weird plot twist here, Angie. And I don't know if you know this either. You knew I wanted to try this Big Arch. And I don't ever eat that kind of stuff, do I? What do I usually get at places like that?
Nuggets.
I get nuggets or I get a chicken sandwich. I'm more of a chicken guy. I love the polo. That's what I'm after. So we go there, and Angie and I agreed, what if I don't like it? Angie said, I'll take one for the team. Let's just split this Big Arch. So we did it straight up 80-year-old man style. We got the knife out. We cut that thing in the middle, and we split the sandwich. And it's got like
a glimpse into our future.
Yeah, it's like the pork tenderloin sandwich. Let's cut it and split it. And we'll take the leftovers for dinner. We ate good for $8. But we cut it in half, and then we each ordered like a 6-piece nugget. So we each had a 6-piece nugget and half of this Big Arch. So we ate like an old married couple, which we kind of are in some ways. But here's the weird thing. I've been wanting to try this Big Arch so bad, and I usually don't get this kind of stuff. And you know what's weird? I have never tried a Big Mac. I have never tried a Whopper. I've never tried any. I don't know if I've ever had a hamburger at Wendy's. Oh, yeah, I have. I've had the Baconator.
The move is to get a double cheeseburger and ask them to dress it like a Big Mac. So they'll put the pickle, lettuce, and the mac sauce. But then it's exactly it, but it doesn't have that middle bun, and it's weird.
So you've had a Big Mac.
I don't like a Big Mac because it's got too much bun. Like A lot of times I ditch the bun.
I had a long-term girlfriend back in the day. Before you, it's true. It's true. I did. And this girl loved Big Macs. She lived
And she literally weighed 100 pounds.
Yeah, she was little.
She ate an entire package of
She'd
Oreos.
fit in my pocket. I just pick her up. Pick her up.
Rude. It's rude, honestly.
It was a good time.
Skinny people are rude.
It was a good time for the time it was. But she would eat like a Big Mac every single day. And she would eat a whole pack of Oreos every single day, too. She was wild. And it was wild. I don't know how that worked. But she loved the Big Mac. Like, she would just crave that Big Mac. And all those years, I never even tried it. Give me those chicken nuggets, but don't forget that barbecue sauce, or I'm turning back around. But I tried this Big Arch. Now, Angie, you want to talk about your thoughts on it? What do you think?
I liked it. I thought it was good, but it was too oniony. I'm not an onion person.
So it had regular onions and the fried onions. I like that. I love onions. On like a perfect hamburger for me, I don't even need cheese, but I'll take slice of cheese is fine. But I like onions. I don't want pickles. Lettuce is fine. I don't need that on it. I rarely, I don't know, but you liked it.
And the white cheddar cheese elevated it. So it didn't taste so
It's weird. I like all cheeses. You guys know my cheese quest. I'm looking for the sharpest cheese we can ever find, but I didn't like the looks of it with that Swiss cheese or whatever it was, but it was fine as far as that went. You know what I didn't like about it? And it must be, and I mention this all the time about the McRib, I hate pickles at McDonald's. I like pickles, but I think I don't like McDonald's pickles. I think is what I've realized with these.
Well, they're so thin and like floppy.
That's what it is. I think I like one that's a little like ridged, like a ruffle type pickle. And I like it when they have a little snap and a little bite to them. Yeah. Those ones at McDonald's are so thin you can like see through them.
Yeah.
And I don't like those. And I think that's what it is. I don't think I like McDonald's pickles, but I like pickles. So I found that out in this journey here. And that was the worst part of the sandwich, I did think. The sauce was fine. I don't know what it was supposed to taste like.
I couldn't pinpoint it either because it wasn't Big Mac sauce. It was something else.
I don't know. And I don't know what Big Mac sauce tastes like. So I know what Big Angie sauce tastes like, but I don't know what Big Mac sauce tastes like. But I don't know. I would never get it again. Would you?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat it by myself, and Angie wouldn't eat it by herself.
I could never eat it all.
I don't know why I got the wild hair to try that out, but I wanted to try it. So I want to be like all the cool kids. So we tried that out.
It was big. It was like almost more like the size of a Whopper than like the size
Maybe
of
I'll try this Whopper. I'm not a big flame broiled burger guy where you can taste like that flame too much, though. We get that from another place. So I don't know.
No.
I don't know. But Angie, we're going to try this out here today. It is Red Velvet. Isn't there a song? Red Velvet. Something like that. But we're going to try this here today. I don't know how long this has been around. You got any knowledge on this?
I think it came out for Valentine's Day, didn't it?
Oh, I don't know. It expires 10/20/26, so that makes sense. That makes sense. So, do you like Red Velvet normally?
No.
Yeah, me neither. I don't think I don't know if I can tell you what
Red Velvet even has a taste. Yeah. It's just like they dye chocolate. And then...
So we're going to see. It's probably got all kinds of red dye in it. Oh, yeah.
But I'm weird about like frosting. I don't only really like white or chocolate frosting.
No, you only like the white frosting.
Like when something has like black frosting on it.
Yeah.
Oh, heck no.
You like the white frosting.
Oh, heck no. Oh my gosh, it's so soft on the bottom.
It's got a smell to it. It looks
it's white chocolate. So this is white chocolate like dyed basically because it smells just like the ones that have the white chocolate on them.
It's got that old man cherry cordial. Is that what they're called? Kind of looks like one of those. It smells fine. I don't know. Let's try it.
Okay.
Out of 5.
A lot of peanut butter.
I tell you, peanut butter tastes almost old school peanut butter ways.
And it goes all the way to the edge. That's crazy.
You guys know, longtime viewers of this podcast know, I've dogged on the Reese's peanut butter cups for a long, long time. This is almost old school peanut butter in this one here.
Yeah, look at that edge. I'm glad you're eating the whole thing. I'm going to need a drink.
We just had a run in. She's loud.
Our little sweets is over there.
I don't know. I love the peanut butter on this one. Mm-hmm. This is what I want out of my peanut butter.
I feel like to get a decent Reese's, you have to get like a limited edition one. It's made in a smaller batch.
But the Red Velvet chocolate, whatever that is,
I think it's got like a weird white chocolate that's dyed.
It's got a weird aftertaste, which most candy these days do. It's got all chemicals that are in it. I like the peanut butter in there a lot. Mm-hmm. I was really fully anticipating to give this like a 1. I didn't really like it. I'm glad it's a thin layer. It could be even thinner for me, but most people probably not. Angie likes a thicker layer, of course.
I don't.
Thicker the better, is what Angie always says across the board. I don't know. What are you going to give it out of 5, Angie?
3.5.
You're higher than me. I'm going to go.
I always like rate it for what it is. I always forget to like rate it on like the scheme of.
I'm going to go a 2.9. A 2.9, but if it was just peanut butter,
I want to change mine to 3.
No, you're settled in. We locked you in already. You were locked in. Locked in. You notice you haven't coughed today.
I did a little one earlier.
Oh, did you? I missed it.
You were talking, so I just skated over it, and I didn't want to interrupt you.
Well, there it is. That's an interesting one. Angie, what do we got for the future? Try new foods. We have to find something new? Mm-hmm. We have to find something new. So we'll see what happens next week. Maybe we'll find something in California.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe, maybe not. We should have brought like the cabbage and sauerkraut and corned beef is what we should have been eating here today.
Oh, gosh.
Maybe next year. Maybe next year. So there it is, Angie. Let's try new foods because they might taste good. And I should mention, Angie, too, you know, we've been going to Buffalo Wild Wings. For those that want, Kyle Peterson 2.0, my second YouTube channel. The one people always say, hey, why didn't you post this video? Yeah, it's on the second YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to both channels. But over there, we're doing, Angie and I, we got Buffalo Wild Wings free for a year, as you know. We're going there for dinner tonight. We've been working through every sauce they have on the menu. So check out those videos if you want some more food content of the wing variety there, Angie.
You're like, what other food-related news can we talk about in this segment?
So there it is. Try new foods because it might taste good. But Angie, now it's time we're going to try to solve a mystery in this one here.
God.
It's time for Story Time with Kyle. All right, Angie, it's time for Story Time with Kyle. Let me take it again this week. Next week, you can do Story Time if you want to. Next week, we'll have probably a recap of our California trip episode is probably what we'll do. We'll tell all the gory details. That's what it'll be. But it's time for Story Time with Kyle. And this week, I had to go to a meeting, Angie. Like I do many a weeks, I had to travel. I traveled in town for the meeting, which was nice. But I noticed something as I was driving. You know, I'm listening to some heavy metal. I was listening to a lot of Twisted Sister this week. I'm getting ready for that Sebastian Bach.
Yeah.
Taking over for Dee Snider. I've been listening to it, of course. You know, it's the price.
Why doesn't he go back to Skid Row? I don't get it.
That's a whole story. Now, you know what I should do is we need to get good friend of the channel, Jeff George, on here, who was, of course, Sebastian Bach's guitar player for a couple of albums and tour cycles. It would be great to get him on here to give his thoughts on all this. And maybe he wants to keep it to himself. I don't know, but it'd be interesting to see that. But yeah, the Skid Row guys, that's a long story. I'll fill you in over dinner, over some wings, maybe. That's a story for another day. But I was driving and I was listening to a lot of Twisted Sister. So shout out Dee Snider, JJ French and the boys. You know, JJ French, manager of the Sound of Urchin.
Yep.
There you go. It all comes full circle. You don't. But I'm driving, I'm listening to the Twist Sister, but I'm looking, you know, as you're driving, you got to be paying attention to the road and stuff. And as I'm looking around, Angie, you know what I saw out there on the street? I saw a shoe in the
Oh my
street.
God, I just saw a shoe on the street today. I'm like,
Yeah.
how does that happen? How do we get here? How do we get here? You wonder why I really don't talk.
So I'm driving and I see this shoe. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. There's a shoe in the street. We've all seen a shoe in the street. Angie just told us how she saw one. I go a couple miles down the road. There's a big work boot right in the middle of the road. So I have to drive over that. It's like standing straight up. It's almost like a galosh.
Is it a different shoe than the first shoe?
Totally different. That was like a tennis shoe. This is like a full-on worker man boot. Like he was going into the swamps. And then I drive a couple miles down the road, Angie, and what do I see? I see a flip-flop on the corner. And it's just like, you know, on the, like, you push the button to cross the street if you're walking. It's like, and there's that little, like, ramp down into the street as you walk. There's just one sandal sitting there. And I'm looking over to the side of my car. I'm like, what the heck's going on? And it got me thinking. I said, what is up with all these missing shoes? And Angie, the heart of this conversation here is, why is it always one shoe?
Exactly.
Why is there not two shoes together? Now, I could see if they were a little bit separated, possibly, like, here's one here and there's one over there.
Mm-hmm.
But why is it always one shoe? Why is that?
I don't get it.
What does that mean? And that's where I ask you the deep question. What does it mean?
I don't know. Yeah, because if somebody left them on top of the car, you'd find two. They'd go flying off.
Now, I don't want to get... going back, I talked about time travel. I talked about time travel. I don't want to get too deep into this, but I have a feeling, and as part of my... I'm a scientist. I talked about it. Mr. Wizard is long dead. Beekman has hanged it up. And then Bill Nye, the science guy, has all but disappeared. So I am the scientist. And Angie, you know I'm a scientist. The guy that has a straight C average from every science class he ever took. I am the scientist. And Angie, I truly believe this is part of time travel, is what it happens. People are going in, and you got to put one foot in, and that time travel vortex, we'll get to it eventually on the channel when I explain the whole theory, it closes on you. It's like a black hole, kind of, but it closes on you. And a lot of times people don't get that last foot in, and it takes that shoe or boot.
Yeah.
And that's what I think it is. And I think the reptilians are involved. I think there's more. There's a lot more to the story. I can't give it all up here in this one. The video's not long enough. You don't have enough storage to make this happen. But why is there always one shoe? And then it brought me back to my childhood, Angie. And I think I've told you this story before. You know where this is going?
It's so crazy that you're telling this story.
You know this?
When I saw the shoe, I told the kids this story.
This was a crazy one.
I know,
Now,
exactly. Well, I think I know what you're going to say.
As a kid, I had a sister.
Yes.
I guess I still have a sister, I guess. But she was more trouble than I was. She was an angry sister. And I knew she was evil. And I would tell my dad as a little kid that, you know, she's got the mark of the beast. She's evil. And she turned out evil, unfortunately. It sucks. You always got one that goes to the dark side. You know, you got the path, the fork in the road. But I knew she was evil.
I tried to go there. You helped me.
I'm going to tell this story one time. I did. I saved you. I'm good. You owe me. You can pay back later. But one story, I don't want to get too deep into this, but I'll never forget the time we had our kitchen table. Like most families have a kitchen table. You know where this is going to? Are you memorizing my stories? We had a kitchen table, and she got a knife from the kitchen, and she carved my initials into the table.
Oh my God.
And she was like 8 years old, 7 years old when she did this. And then, of course, my parents are just screaming and yelling at me because my initials are in the table. I'm like, I didn't do that. I'm like, and I knew she did it.
Yeah.
And they're like, why would she carve your initials? She would carve her initials in there. And like, that's what I'm saying. She's evil. She's evil. That's a story for another day. But the story here, we were going back from my grandma's. I don't know if we were coming back from Easter, my birthday, whatever it was. We were coming back and we're on the highway and she was throwing a fit in the back seat. And of course, me being a little kid, I'd be stuck by her in the back seat. Now, I used to always say, there's a wall. There's a wall here in between. I would always play that game. And then if you got over there, bam, right there in the face. I'd have to put her in her place sometimes. You had to. You might have a sister. But and she's screaming and yelling. I don't know what's going on. This must have been before child locks on the door and stuff and all that. And she's screaming and yelling and crying and just in hysterics. You know how these women are. You know how they are. They get in the hysterics, especially when they're a little kid. I mean, she's probably 10 years old, 9, whatever. And I'll never forget, we're sitting in the back seat. And I think this was maybe my dad's Grand Marquis, a beautiful car, a big boat of a car back in the day. And we're rolling down the highway or whatever. She rolls her window down and she immediately takes her shoe, rolls the window down, throws it out the window. And I'm just looking at her like, what is going on here? And then we travel, she threw that one out. And I'm just looking at like, Anne's throwing her shoes out the window. I'm of course ratting on her immediately. And then there goes the other shoe right out the window there. And we're driving down the interstate highway. So, you're going 65, 70 miles per hour.
Oh my God.
And it reminded me of this story just like it did you a little bit. But maybe that's why these shoes are only one. Because one gets thrown out and then you keep driving and then you finally get that other one off. People aren't taking both off at the same time, tying the shoes together and throwing them out. They're doing that on the power lines is what they're doing. And that's supposed to be like pouring one out for your fallen homie or something like that, isn't it?
Or no, there's drugs here.
Or there's drugs. And that reminds me of when I was a little kid, if there was a handkerchief tied to the... If there was a handkerchief tied to the fence post, you knew there was asparagus there.
There was blood above the door.
And there was asparagus. And my grandpa and I would go hunt asparagus is what you do. If there was a handkerchief, you knew there was asparagus. And that's how you knew where to go. Out in the country. This is Country Kyle here. I was listening to some Buck Owens. It was time. But my sister threw both of her shoes out. I remember she got in so much trouble for that. I mean, who knows what shoes she had and how much they cost. But I'm sure anything. I wouldn't be happy. And then what is your thought process of that? What if we were on our way to somewhere? Important you needed shoes for. And then what if it was specific shoes? Not one you could go to the local 5 and dime and pick up some just cheap shoes if you need to. Unbelievable though. I remember just being absolutely puzzled and aghast in the back seat, just seeing her just roll the window down and threw one out. And that's
that was the problem. She never thought about the future.
Never thought about it. That's right. And she was so angry in the moment. I'm sure there was regrets there. I have to imagine. I'd have to imagine some regrets along the way.
She's probably got a regrets tattoo.
That's a weird one, but that is an interesting story. Where are all these two shoes? The only time I see them together is when they're up on a power line or something. I see that every once in a blue moon, but I always see a flip-flop, a galosh, a boot, something, and it's always by itself.
Weird.
What does it mean? What does it mean? I'd be very interested to hear what you think that means. And it could be very devious. It could be time travel. It could be a lot of things.
Mine was a pricey sneaker I saw too. It was one of those Hoka or whatever it's called.
No, I was wondering why you were wearing two different sneakers. You were wearing that one and one you had around the house? I don't know. Very, very strange. But I'd be interested to hear your thoughts if you guys are the same wavelength as us with just these one shoes laying around. It's a weird thing. And then, Angie, that is story time with Kyle, which means there's only one segment left. It's coming to the end of the show. It's time for a few final thoughts. All right, Angie, it's time for a few final thoughts. And Angie, we got some viewer mail this week here. And if you guys don't know this already, once again, we're doing Buffalo Wild Wings on Kyle Peterson 2.0. But on the original channel, the one you're watching this, if you're watching the video, every week we do the weekly purchases. And the mail girl, Angie, comes. And we might have some extra ones here because for the sake of time in this podcast, we'll only do one question this week. Maybe we'll hold them over. Maybe we'll do a segment of Q&As next week. We'll see what happens, Angie. But we do got a question this week, and I will read this for you. It does come to us from Josh Clinton, 31682. Question of the week. Kyle, you are one tall man. Not as tall as your dad, of course, true. But at what age did you start gaining height? Did you play any sports like basketball or baseball while growing up? Same question for Angie. Did you play any sports as a kid? So Angie, we're going to go to ladies first here. It's a ladies first channel. Angie always comes first. Well, let's go, Angie. What do you think?
I played every sport.
She played every sport except softball.
Yep.
She hated softball. She was scared of balls, which times have changed. Times have changed. You're not anymore, but you were at one time, apparently. I get it. They're weird. Go ahead.
Oh, that's it.
You want to tell anything?
Well, track, we just we're required to do for
Calisthenics,
conditioning and stuff.
And basketball was by far your favorite, and you were good. You were lethal out there. We should take some pictures of some of the press clippings. Your mom collected a huge book of press clippings from you. Angie and her basketball.
We'll insert some.
You were, yeah, we will. You were Caitlin Clark around here before Caitlin Clark is what you were. Angie just lethal from all over the place. And I did play sports as a kid. I dabbled in some basketball, but I was a baseball guy. I was a baseball kid. I was a little bit of wrestling kid as well, baseball and wrestling. And then as I got older, I did like MMA training and stuff like that. So that's my window. That's my window into athletics. And I was a demon out there on the baseball field because I had no fear. I would step into pitches if I had to. If I felt like I couldn't get it on there, I'd get on base somehow. And I would step into a pitch, do whatever I wanted to. I would also pitch, and I would also I was a little bit like Wild Thing from Major League a little bit. I was a little wild from time to time, but I had a thing that I did every single time. I actually had a guy rush the mound on me one time, but I would always throw my first pitch as hard and fast as I could, and I would hit the batter every time. And from then on, people were scared to death because most kids are scared to get hit by the ball. So they would stand way off of the plate and stuff. So I was a little bit devious on the baseball field. But,
always devious.
But as far as me being tall, I don't know. Am I tall, Angie? What do you think?
I think you're tall.
You don't view me as tall. I've never felt like you've said, boy, you're a tall drink of water.
You're what, 6'1"?
6'1". Maybe shrinking with this compressed spine. Who knows? But
I'm like 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah, Angie's right in my wheelhouse too. And I've always dated.
I swear we're like almost the same height because you're getting hunched over.
I know.
You definitely need to get struck.
And I've
out.
always dated tall chicks too. I every girl I've dated has been tall. I don't think I've ever dated anybody under like 5'7". Maybe I should try that. Try that sometime. See what that's like. Give it a whirl.
Toss her around.
Give it a whirl. But I was not tall. I had a weird thing. Like I did not grow until
Such
college.
A late bloomer.
I don't know why. And my dad is taller than me. He grew taller, but I was like the runt. I was always batting first in baseball because I was always the little guy on the team. I was always small. I want to say I graduated high school at like 5'7", and I was probably like 175, 80 pounds, something like that. And then I went to college, and that's where my growth spurt started. And the weird thing is I couldn't even grow facial hair till I was like 24, 25. Yeah. How weird is that? Like back when we
had it, it's weird.
When we used to date, I couldn't even grow facial hair. Like I'd shave once a month. It was ridiculous. And I'm by no means Grizzly Adams at this point, but I grew in college and I really started focusing on my weightlifting and stuff like that. And I'll never forget coming back home at, in summer or whatever. People would be shocked that, wait, Kyle, no way. Because I'd grown like 6 inches in 2 different spots, of course. And they were always shocked by that. But then they were shocked, that like, wow, you put on so much size. Because when I really was working out my hardest, I was up to like 270, 265, 270. I was big and it took a lot to keep that weight up. There was a lot of late night protein shakes and eggs and the whole story. But it's weird. I didn't grow until college, so it was very strange. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess everybody's different in how their body produces, but that's what happened to me, Angie. So I don't know about you. Were you always that tall, fine drink of water?
I had my growth spurt when I was 7th into 8th grade, so I've been this tall since I was like 12, 13.
Wow.
It was horrible. I was so skinny because I went from like 5'5" to 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah.
And so I only weighed like 120, 130 pounds.
Did anybody ever call you Olive Oil?
Yes, that's exactly what
That's what my other girlfriend that loved the Big Macs, she was always called Olive Oil, and it really made her cry. It made her cry. Did it make you cry?
No, I'm Big Debbie.
Big Deb? You're Big Deb now? But I don't think you ever cried. But you didn't live in the mean streets like I did. Like I grew up in the class of 1984. If you've seen that movie, that was like my class. It was in the city. It was like more. You knew everybody in your whole school, not just your class. You knew everybody. There was like 40 people in the whole kindergarten through senior year or whatever it was. I don't know. But you knew everybody. You knew those kindergartners would pass you in the hall and you'd be like, what's up, kindergartner? I'm a senior. It'd be one of those things.
No.
Yeah.
But you would know. You would be like, oh, I know your brother.
But I feel like you couldn't really have blood feuds like you could in my school because you'd see each other all the time. Where if you have, like me, a class of like 600,000 people in your graduating class, it's like I look at my class picture, I don't remember anybody. Like it's total. I've forgotten everybody. The only people I remember are the kids I went to elementary school and junior high with. But my high school, when you got all these huge classes converging into one, you can't even remember it all. I'm sure
It's weird to think about a yearbook in a small town because like I was probably on like almost every page.
Yeah.
And then you were probably just
I looked at your yearbook. There was only 3 pages in it. It was wild. I was like, this is like a pamphlet. This isn't a yearbook. And then mine's like this Encyclopedia Britannica is what mine was back then. But I think there's a picture of me in my radio days giving hey, it's Kyle here coming at you. We got the hot one from the band Fastball, and we're going to find out the way. Something like that. So there it is, Angie. That's an interesting one. So that's the little question of the week. You want to be the question of the week, send it to the Kyle Peterson. I always get her so hot and bothered. I got it.
Nervous thinking about what you're going to
When you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, you're not. That's what Jerry Reed told me. He tells me a lot of stuff, but he always says, Kyle, when you're hot, you're hot.
When you hot, you hot. Do you know your part? When you're hot, you're hot. That's right. And when you're hot, you're hot. I say,
But Angie, funny bone. Funny bone. We'll use that as the thumbnail. That's what we'll use. Hard times for Angie. You'll get some more hard times later. But Angie, that is the question of the week. You want to be the question of the week, put it in the comments down below of the YouTube or the Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com. We'll have some more questions on weekly purchases, so make sure you check that out along the way. But that is it. Of course, March 19th, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Mattel Creations revealed. Yours truly. What will I be doing?
No clue.
Lord only knows. We'll find out very soon, though. You do not want to miss it. It's going to be an action-packed day out there from California, Angie, and much more on that next week on the podcast. So make sure you subscribe to both YouTube channels. Check out the Patreon. Support the channel. Angie needs all the help she can get. Who are we fooling? So do I. Check out the Patreon YouTube channel memberships. You guys know the drill by now. But Angie...
No, let's skip that part. We're tight on time.
What did we learn today? What did we learn today?
Oh my god!
All right, we learned nothing.
St. Patty's Day.
Okay.
Red Velvet.
Okay.
Stolen ideas.
Stolen ideas. Stolen
hearts.
Stolen
missing
valor.
shoes.
Yep. We learned it all here today.
We got it.
That's good. Well, Angie, hopefully we make it back. We'll be back with plenty of stories next week. Stay tuned to the channel. Much more to come. Angie, tell everybody goodbye.
Bye.
I found out a long time ago. You gotta learn to say yes when life says no.
There's some strange shit going on in this house, and I know damn well it is.